dark side. Hey everybody, it's Chip from Discard to Reroll. Do you like alt art cards, resources to help your game, and being part of a great community? Tired of opening Rebellion leaders in your legacy packs? Well, save that cash and put it to good use and become an official member of the Discard to Reroll Patreon. Patrons help make the show possible, and you get some cool stuff in return, like Awakenings Vader and Kylo 2 Magna alt art, Kylo 2 and Kanan alt art foils, and more. This February, we'll be launching our Discard Duos, alt art character pairings that will make you the new master of the meta in your local area. Existing patrons, don't worry, we've got you covered too. You'll get any of the new promos we have at the current tier, and of course, access to the Double Blanks Discord, the best place for you to talk about trash decks, sick nasty plays, and my obsession with double sleeving every card in my collection. Learn more at our website or Facebook page at discardtoreroll.com, and remember, may all of your rerolls be special ones.
I've been waiting 15 years since Return of the Jedi came out to see the prequel.
There's no way it's going to be a disappointment.
Are there any of you that think this is going to be a lousy movie?
I feel like, I don't know, like it's exciting. It's going to be going to the first show of like Phantom Menace, and I don't know, that's all I can say. Thanks.
What's going on, folks? My name is Jay with Double Blanks Gaming, and you are listening to Discard to Reroll.
It's Discard to Reroll. We're a podcast about a little dice and card game we like to call Star Wars Destiny. I'm your host, Mr. Chip, and thank you for listening. And let me tell you something, we're going to get right to it. We've got two special guests here today. Hopefully they get along a little bit better than Jay and Chris do from Double Blanks, because they're from the opposite sides of the world, all the way on the left coast from California. It's Mike the Rebel Spy. Mike, how are you?
Hey, I'm awesome. How are you?
Good, and you sound great. You sound healthy. You're back from your world traveling and playing some Destiny all across the coast.
Yeah, everything is good. Trying to get back to normal.
Awesome. We can't wait to ask you some questions, but I want to hear all about just all the good stuff that you did in Portland. And right, it was Portland that you went to?
Yep.
Played up there, and you got some spot gloss and all the stuff I want to hear about. So I can't wait to talk to you about that. So thanks for being here today. And my deepest apologies for anything the next guy I'm going to talk about may say. He started
here you go.
He started talking trash before the program didn't even begin. And he's already running some trash about the new Bro TK is dead. Is that what it is? Bro TK?
No.
It's now Vader TK.
I said nothing of the sort.
He said if you live in New Jersey and you play Bro TK, throw it away. And it was meant to rhyme. He's got the new deck he's going to talk about. It's Jay from Double Blanks. Jay, what's up? How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me on your show, man.
Well, thank you.
Just so you could trash talk me all day.
Well, what's this deck? I mean, do you mind? Is it? Do we have to subscribe to your channel? Do we have to be a Patreon, like at the $200 level, to hear about?
Yeah. I'm not talking about my deck list until I reach about like $2,000 on Patreon. So
well, we got a little bit of ways to go, but that's all right.
And I ain't giving Chris none of it.
All right. What is this deck? Tell me about this new deck you're playing.
Oh, well, it's Vader Newt Gunray. Okay, you see, I've never played the deck before, but
perfect. That sounds amazing already.
Until today.
Okay.
But my sidekick, the trash known as Sir Christopher, has played it many a times.
Yes.
But what you don't know about Sir Christopher is he plays trash versions of decks. So I thought, all right, well, lots of people are doing the leadership, price of failure nonsense with Night Sister. Why not try to do it with Vader? So I basically said, all right, I'm just going to do leaderships, price of failures, boundless ambitions, binds all things, and throw down a Maul Saber, some ancients, and just go to town. So I decided to whip it up today. I played it a few times on TTS.
Yeah.
And now all the games that I played, I've gotten exactly what I needed. Like round 2, I had 2 ancients on Vader, and then I leadership, and I boundless into a price of failure and a nice of leaders, another boundless ambition. So I leadership.
You got the cards.
Roll out Vader, do tons of damage.
Yeah.
Price of failure, do tons of more damage, and it's like by then you have like one character left with trash on them, and you're dead.
So who's in this deck? It's Vader, Newt,
and Newt Gunray.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Isn't Bro TK? See, there's 3 characters in that.
Yeah.
See,
yeah, well,
so you got Night Sister to do the rerolls, right? You got but it still works okay.
Yeah, well, you just use Boundless Ambition to get more cards in your hand to discard and reroll. And I was rolling hot with Vader, so that helps.
Mike, did you see this deck sweeping the nation in Portland?
Yeah, it was like 50% of the metagame, I would say.
Right.
Really?
In trilogies too. So it was, I mean, everyone was cheating to get it there. That's how good it was.
What? So you were in Portland for, was it Galactic Qualifier that you went to?
Yeah, I was in Portland to visit Portland. And then they announced that there was going to be a Galactic Qualifier that same weekend that I was going to be there. So I was like, sweet. Hey, Melanie, can I go, play Star Wars Destiny one of the days that we're going to be in Portland? And she was awesome and said, yeah, sure. But only if I can go to the spa. And then I was said, okay.
It works out. I'm not sure the order. Are you sure that order is right?
It was a good trade.
You went to Portland. You were going to go to Portland first, and then they announced. I mean, is it kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it sounds spooky, but that's how it went down. That's how it went down.
Timing.
So yeah, it was a good time. There were actually like 2 days of the Galactic Qualifiers, but I only played in one.
Okay.
And because I could only play in one, I chose to play in the trilogy one because I thought that would be a lot more fun and more interesting.
So tell me a little bit about it. So it was a trilogies event, and that's the first. This was the first like official trilogies event. Is that?
Yeah, I think so. It was definitely the first Fantasy Flight sanctioned big event where trilogies was the format for the day. Right. And it was really sweet, actually. I have a lot of good things to say about trilogy.
Now, I noticed on the website meaning Fantasy Flight Games website, did you see that they did coverage on it?
Yeah, which was interesting. I wonder if that's a shift that they are making and that they're going to do stuff like this more often, which I think is really cool.
I think it's because you were there. Because it's the duels in Portland. They named it like the duels in Portland. Now, wasn't there 30 people there?
Yeah, the first day
the duels in Portland was literally a duel. It was 2 people.
Yeah, it may as well. Well, okay. So the first day, I can't really speak to the second day because I wasn't there. But when I was there, my guess is that there were 24 to 26 people, something like that. So it was fairly small. And yeah, I mean, I was going in expecting there to be 50, 60 people. So I felt a little weird, it being that small, but there's a couple of reasons why I think that was.
So lay it on us. All
right. So every other Galactic Qualifier, I mentioned this on the Jedi Trials a little bit, but every other Galactic Qualifier is at a big convention. Whereas this Galactic Qualifiers was just at a, X-Wing System Open, right. And that was the only other thing that was happening at the convention center.
Oh, right, yep.
Yeah, so it kind of just felt like, it was just a weird standalone thing. I would say 90% of the people there were just Portland players. So
interesting. Okay, but the quantity doesn't matter. It's the quality. And it looks like, now, did you play this guy right here? They posted his deck. It's Andrew Heinz. And
So Andrew, actually, he's the one that told me that the Galactic Qualifiers was happening in Portland after I'd already booked my tickets. He's written a couple articles for swdestiny.com. If anyone has read the Learning Destiny articles and stuff like that, I don't remember exactly the title of them. I think it's Teaching Destiny, actually. So it's he kind of goes over how to teach Destiny to a friend, basically. Oh, nice. And so I know him from that. And so he mentioned to me that the Portland Galactic Qualifiers was happening, and so yeah, we were planning on meeting up and hanging out a little bit at the event. But I did not actually play against Andrew. So he won all of his games, and I lost my first game. So unless he lost a game somewhere along the track, right. we never could have played. Him being undefeated. So
right,
yeah.
So this deck, this Talzin Veteran Stormtrooper, seems like I had never even heard of it, and now that's all I'm hearing about.
Yeah. Well, for trilogies, it's definitely a good option. It's quite a bit of health. The upgrades are pretty good. The like the events that you can put in there, like he has a couple sudden impacts in there, which are really cool. It's it's like one resource, and you remove one of your dice. It might be showing damage. I think it's showing damage, and then deal damage to all of your opponent's characters equal to half that value. So it's like if you have one of the 3 sides showing on the veteran stormtrooper, you can do this and deal 2 damage to each of your opponent's characters. And there's a lot of 3-character decks in trilogies. Right. So yeah,
interesting. So you were rolling with you brought Jar Jar back, from what I understand.
Absolutely. I played Elite Yoda, Elite Jar Jar, Jedha Partisan.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, felt pretty good about it. Going into it, I didn't feel as good about it just because I didn't really get a ton of practice games in.
Yeah.
But after losing the first round and kind of just like realizing, oh, okay, I got to like step it up a little bit, and then winning a couple after that, I've started to feel pretty good about the deck. Interesting
that they, in a couple of the other things in this article, they talk about players still fearing Mill all over the place.
Yeah.
And do you feel like, is that a good matchup against like this deck in trilogies or no?
So my first round loss was to Sean, who is also goes by Pearl Yeti of Artificery. So he like we got matched up first round, and he was playing that deck and beat me with it, like very like close margin. It was like came down to time, and then it just like he rolled out a bunch of indirect damage, and had enough to kill me before I could get all the cards out of his hand. So yeah, it was super close, but I think that deck in particular, the Tolson deck, has a pretty solid matchup against most of the other trilogies decks that were there.
So as fun as the competition sounds, it's all about spot gloss. So they have was there the prize wall or whatever they call it? Is it called the prize wall? What is?
Yeah, I mean it's like it's on a table, and it's just like in a display case basically, and then it's all the different spot gloss options and the other like full arts and battlefields, and then like a bunch of X-wing stuff.
Mamma mia, come to Papa. So tell me, if you're playing in this tournament, and there was a world seat, like he got a world seat, right, for this?
Yes, he did.
Which is so. It just runs counter to what I thought the Galactic qualifiers were. So I thought that was like play as much as you can, play in these little pods, get points, grind it, go over, like trading your tickets like it's Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know if you have those over there, but like, so how do you get the cards is what I want to know.
So you are correct in that. So for each win you get a certain amount of points, and then at the end they'll give you however many points you got throughout the event.
Okay.
If you get knocked out of the event, they have side events where you can also gain points. And then, yes, you like it's Chuck E. Cheese style. Go up to the booth, tell them what you want, hand in your tickets, and it's done. But the prize, like the additional prize for going undefeated at Galactic qualifiers, is a ticket to Worlds, basically.
Nice. That's as good as that sounds. Spot gloss sounds better. Tell me about the spot. So you got Tarkin? Is that what you said?
Yeah. So I got the Tarkin spot gloss card because they didn't have a Jar Jar spot gloss card, so I couldn't get that. And
are you a Tarkin fan? Is it?
I like him as a card. I think that he's one of the characters that I would be most likely to play out of the ones that I saw behind the case. And I didn't really want to get Yoda because I feel like everybody gets Yoda, and like this was the first event that Tarkin was available in, so there's kind of that allure to it as well.
Yeah, sure. And you know what? My daughters just love Tarkin. They have like little Tarkin dolls, and they have No, they don't. But it sounds like you're going to make Tarkin cool as a character.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm going to try.
Such a cool character, Jay, isn't he? Such a cool character.
Such a cool character.
Yeah,
Tarkin,
the coolest.
He's like he actually, you would like him, Jay, because I don't know. Spoiler. He's in Rogue One, but he's like animated, so it's like Rebels. Yeah. It's like you're watching a cartoon. So it's both you guys.
Actually, he is in Rebels and Clone Wars.
See,
so he's a Rebels and Clone Wars character. You wouldn't know how cool he is unless you watched those shows.
No, that's perfect. It sounds great. But well, so you ended up finishing what for the day on that?
They didn't rank you at the end, okay. But I finished 5-1. So
I mean. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. Well, I guess I was like 4-1 because my last round was a bye, so I can't really count that as a win.
Gotcha. Now, did you bring your little backpack?
I brought a small, I brought the backpack that I usually carry my laptop in.
Okay, got it. So Jay, do you doing regionals now? Or are you at all, or what are you doing?
I have a regionals at the end of March, and then I have a GQ. I think it's in May.
Nice.
And
it's in May.
And you're playing it.
I'm playing in both.
All right, I just want to make sure.
I plan on it anyway.
I mean, I've seen you
and
play.
Then I'm gonna play hopefully at Worlds.
Yes.
Okay.
You need to.
I thought you switched and started playing Resident Evil competitively, and I didn't know.
And Fortnite. Don't forget Fortnite.
Fortnite, yeah.
And Cuphead. Yes, you are. I heard you going to Worlds for Cuphead. Yeah, always. I'm terrible at the game. So.
Spot gloss controllers.
If you watch speedrunners, they do it in like 10 seconds. That takes me hours.
You got a long way to go.
That's a tough game. So, since you're going, Jay, and it's been a while since you've been to one of these, right? It's been a little bit of time.
It's been a while since I've been to any kind of structured tournament period.
So, and we've got Mike here he's Mike. I would consider, at least amongst the three of us, he's the expert in that. He's got the most experience with that. But I'm going to my first regionals coming up in Rochester. That's going to be next weekend at Millennium Games. So I'm getting excited about it. And I'm starting to plan my outfit, right? Because you got to plan your outfit. You got to look good, Jay. You got to look nice. You got to look tight, right? So I'm so trying to put the outfit together. Now my problem is, how do I take my cards? And I played in a sealed. There's a league here at Just Games in Penfield. They're doing sealed. Draft, and that's on Tuesdays, which was super fun. And shout out to all the guys that played at Just Games. And I played, I think, three games, something like that. But Dan, JJ, and Aaron, I went 2-1 in that, but it was super fun. But I didn't feel right. Like my cards, I got the Feldherr case. We've talked about it before, and it just was too big and bulky, and the tokens were all over the place. So can you see my screen, guys? You can see it right now, right?
Yep.
Yes.
All right, I want you to just imagine me imagine yourselves, because you're both going to be competing more. And I want you not to have to worry about what you're bringing. And I've been reading all this stuff, like preparing to go to tournaments. And there's theft. You got to watch out for theft, Jay. People are going to steal your stuff. You've got 7 cards. You don't want them.
You got people like Sir Christopher. You don't want to just leave your cards hanging around.
No, they'll put their fingers through the little mesh hole in his bag and take them right out. Right. So take a look at this. Here's what I got. What do you think about that?
That's beautiful.
Listen, before you,
I'd rock it.
Before you say
amazing.
It's a fanny pack, but listen, before anyone judges a fanny pack, I want to be able to. I'm reading this from professional Magic players that say you want to keep. You bring only a few things. Now this has got the double fist for the water bottle. That might be a little.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, that's nice. But you can wear it.
You're going to stay so hydrated.
I mean, look at this thing. And then you keep it in front of you, and then you don't have to worry. I worry about my cards. I brought my backpack to the draft I did, and they say you're supposed to wrap it around your leg so people don't rip. People will come in and rip people's bags and run. Have you heard of these things happen?
That's crazy.
I guess I don't want that.
Yeah. No. I don't know if anybody in the Destiny community would do that.
Well, they're heavier. I think,
that's
right?
True.
Because you've got the dice themselves.
Legitimately, that reminds me of something that Dwight from The Office would wear.
Well, he probably is he probably could be a competitive player. Look, I think that
probably he played StarCraft. So,
well, that's coming to my house. It should be here on Saturday. So I'm really excited about it.
And, you ordered it already?
Did you really? Oh my God!
I did.
You must post pictures.
I got a discard to reroll, the first ever discard to reroll hoodie. And when by the way, when you come on your third show, Mike, you get a hoodie. So just so you know, we got one more to go. I don't know.
All right.
Wait, hold on. What? I've done 1,000 shows with you.
If you're
it's 3 for me. It's 1,001 for you.
Your staff, man. Staff, it's different. You can't play in the contest. Yeah. So and then I got one other thing, but I don't know. Here, let me bring this up. This is the let's go to Amazon. That's where I got it. Because I looked at the Pirate Lab stuff. We talked about this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we did. And
it looks amazing. I'm just worried about when I'm playing. What do you do? What do you do with it? The tables.
I'm starting to not really love it either. The things on the inside that are Velcro and they kind of make the different compartments. They've just been kind of a pain. So I don't think I would recommend it.
So this is the thing. I have a quiver. You do? Of course
I
you
do.
do.
I haven't used it for Destiny. I use it for my Arkham LCG stuff, actually.
So that's not the right. It's this. Man, I thought it was just called Quiver, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see. This one says it's. For,
I think that's it.
Let's see. Is it? Yeah, that's it right there. Now look at this. Look at they're all on the lawn. Can you imagine bringing Destiny on the lawn?
The marketing pictures are my favorite part of their entire brand.
What game are they playing right there? Is that Raw Deal?
I don't know.
I think that's Raw Deal.
Wait, zoom back in?
It's too pixelated for me.
I think it's Yu-Gi-Oh. No, it's Raw Deal.
No, that's not Raw Deal
I know.
either.
I'm just making up just to see. If
I
want to see if Chris is paying attention. What do you like this thing, Mike?
For what I use it for, yes. I haven't ever really brought it anywhere, so that I can't really speak to.
Why did you buy it? Why did you buy it?
It was actually given to me by a person who posted a series of videos on the swdestiny.com YouTube page. That was reviews for Destiny, storage solutions.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. He actually reviewed it.
Yeah.
And he's like, here, take this stupid thing. Well, it looks cool. I don't know, because I just wanted something I could honestly keep on my lap.
Yeah.
Oh, so
and that would work, but I'm partial to the Fanny pack.
You're gonna laugh your ass off.
All
but
right.
I have one of these.
You have a Quiver?
I never thought about using. No. It's called something different. I've never thought about using it.
Okay.
But I might start bringing it. It's called a koala bag. Look it up real quick.
A koala bag. All right.
A koala bag. So it's this really nifty, it's indie made.
That looks great.
We're literally just seeing images of koalas.
You're not gonna find it on Amazon. It's like a very small organization. I think the lady makes them herself. She doesn't. She makes all of them by herself.
Oh, this looks good. Is this like a what do they call it? A thigh bag or something?
Yes, it's like a gun holster.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a bag that sits on your gun holster.
No,
it would
maybe
be
not
a gun
that.
holster.
But yeah, that you would not be allowed in the tournament.
But it's cool because it can be a backpack. It's got straps. It can be a backpack. It could be a purse. It could be like a satchel, like Indiana Jones satchel. It wraps around your thigh and your waist, so it could be a gun holster type thing.
Yeah.
That's
it's
cool.
really cool. See if there's any photo galleries. I know we saw them at a convention one time, and the lady made my dad put one on and used them as a model for one of their pictures.
Oh man, how do I find that? That would be fantastic.
I know it's on her Instagram, but I don't know where you can find actual models wearing them.
These look
but they're really cool.
They look like nice ones. They do have them on I'm thinking, how do I even search for this on Amazon? And there's some weird thing, but it's like a thigh bag. Is that what it's called? Yeah, that looks straight up look at this.
Yeah, that's like a koala bag.
Yeah, that's
awesome. Oh, it's literally
it's raised.
It's marketed as a Star Wars Halloween costume accessory.
Oh my God Almighty! So I don't know. I mean, you played how many games were in your that you played? 6 games, or you had to buy? So 5 games.
Yeah, so 5.
And then how many should I expect in regional? So let's say I think there's 150 seats, but let's say there's 80. How many games should I expect to play? And by the way, we're in the segment called Chip is Going to Regionals. This is a new segment on the show. One and only time.
You should expect to play at least 7 rounds and more likely 8.
7 rounds, more likely 8. All right. And so what?
Yeah, which is a very long day.
It sounds like a really long day. So what advice would you give to a new guy now, this is not one of those places that you would get in San Diego where they've got fish tacos on one side and then they've got beach.
Beer.
Yes. No, there's none of that. There's an Indian market next door, which is very nice, but no beer. And then there is a place that sells glass that is for medicinal purposes on the left side. And then there is this store. That's about all that's there.
Okay.
And a Kohl's.
Nice. Okay, so you're on the right track with that. with that fanny pack, because
Yes.
it's got 2 spots for water, and you're going to want to drink a lot of water.
Okay.
So
Got it. Check.
keep yourself hydrated and like just physically comfortable is probably like the biggest piece of advice, because it's such a long day. You're sitting for like forever, and like that can just be taxing.
Quick question. Should I bring a foldable chair, like one of those, like I'm going to the soccer game chair, or I could bring one of the cushions, like the cushions?
Yeah. Like if you're going to like the football game or whatever, and you're going to sit on the concrete. Yeah. It depends on how comfortable the chairs are that they have at the store.
They're not bad. I think they're
but that's not a
plastic.
bad idea.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
It is just one more thing they need to carry and bring around to every single, seat that you're in.
Can you imagine if I did? What if it was like a donut, like one of those, like a hemorrhoid donut? I might need it. All right, but I'm going to bring the bag. Keep that. Do you bring food when you go to these things usually? Like shove some stuff in, or what? Like, do they give you for 8 rounds? They give you time?
Like you usually in the middle, they'll give you a lunch break depending on when it starts. I usually try to bring my own food because I have a particular diet that I eat. So like not I can't just go to like McDonald's and get something.
Right.
So yeah.
What do you like? Just sucking on flax? What do you got over there?
Yeah, I just bring like I don't know, like a Kind bar or something like that
Nice.
I can snack on.
Okay, good. So I'm gonna bring. If I bring 1 Kind bar and 2 bottles of water, I might die at this. There might be a chance that you find me dead. So I might play 2 games and then that's it.
Yeah, hopefully they let you off for a lunch break and you can like go somewhere. Like if at least in San Diego we had like an hour for lunch.
Gotcha. All right, so that's good. Yeah. Jay, did you did a regionals right once?
Yes, that was one of the first ones in Alabama. Took K2SO.
Oh, right. Yes, I remember that.
It was a disaster.
Yeah, you were done pretty quick.
A beautiful disaster.
It was fun though.
How many rounds did you end up playing? Was it just the first? I mean, there's
So
2.
I didn't make it to the cut, so I think we played 5 or 6.
Okay, so there's still a lot of Destiny to be played, whether you make it or
6. Yeah, for sure.
not. All right. So advice is bring some snacks, bring some food, maybe if you can.
Bring a good deck if you want to.
Bring a good. Wait a minute, I got to write. Oh, I should write this down. Hold on. Bring good deck.
Like,
what's a deck?
Don't try. Like, unless you really don't care. Like, I was going really just to hang out with D House and everybody and get to meet everybody. But like, if you're going to actually like try to play and win and stuff, you've got to bring it.
Having a good deck helps. That's for sure.
That's what we're doing.
Also, remember to bring all of the dice that go with your cards.
Yeah, that would be embarrassing. I did that in my first whatever it was. It wasn't even a real official tournament. They were just playing, and I was all excited. And I built my first deck, and I left the Holocron dice at home.
Yeah,
that was embarrassing.
Which, it's a bummer. Technically, your opponent can like disqualify you for it, so don't get trapped. And I actually did that this past weekend. I thought I was ready to go, and I'm in my first game against Sean, and I play an R2D2, and then I look through my dice and I'm just like, oh, I don't have an R2D2 die.
So what'd you do?
Thankfully, he did not disqualify me, and I just like put the card back in my hand, and then we kind of pretended that didn't happen.
Right.
And after the game, they were selling starters at the Galactic qualifier, so I just bought a starter for the R2 die.
Nice.
That's hardcore. That is hardcore.
Yeah.
So have the dice in hand. Make sure you have your cards down. Do you have to, before you start, write your deck down? Like give it to somebody?
You do.
Okay. Can I bring it?
Yeah, like you have a sheet basically that they give you with slots for your characters, your battlefield, your cards, how many of each card, and then you fill it out and you give it to the TO basically.
So you have to do it there. Can I bring it already pre-printed or?
You can, yeah. So if you want to be ahead of the game, you can definitely get a pre-printed one.
Deck list for Star Wars Destiny tournament.
I think that the deck list sheets are somewhere on FFG's website, but I don't know exactly where.
All right. I'm going to search for that because you know what? I don't want to be writing down stuff when I'm there.
Yeah.
And they give you a little golf pencil and then you break that and you're sweating and they write it right and all that stuff. Jay, you're a big player on the tabletop simulator. Are you not?
Oh, I am.
Here's my latest hypothesis. You ready?
Yeah.
It is that
Let's hear it.
tabletop simulator makes in real life players lazy. So hear me out. I think that because you're not physically manipulating the cards, you're not, sitting in front of an opponent and know the steps even to start the game that you may, because you play all the time. But I feel that if you don't like physically even handle the cards and go through the routine of like seeing a person in front of you, that you might be more laxed in the rules. And as I'm reading, because I like to prepare, I'm in education, so I want to make sure I follow the rules here. These are the Star Wars Destiny tournament regulations, right? And if you come down here, there are very specific steps, like the order of which games are to be set up. Like, for instance, everybody puts their cards down, their character cards face up first, and then their die. Then they put their battlefield in. I feel like that happens on tabletop, right? People shuffle the deck. Here's where things get a little crazy. Like, I wanted to know, what's the order next? Like, I know that you take the resources, but some people put the resources in now. Like, you're not supposed to do any of that yet. You're supposed to just deal with your deck, shuffle your deck, take the 5, mulligan, which is up to 5 cards, right? Put them next to your characters. Make sure that the opponent acknowledges that. Then you shuffle and then take the cards back. Is that the order you play?
I think really it only matters if you're playing against a Newt Gunray at this point, I think, right?
Well, for setup, it doesn't matter even if you're playing against Newt.
Yeah.
I haven't had a situation where I've had to really go through step by step and someone really be like, okay, first we do this and then we do this. And then
right.
You basically just go to the table, you set up your stuff. The most important thing is that, which everybody should know, at least that's going to a regional, is that you cut your deck and you mulligan before you roll for the battlefield. But the rest of it, people do it, just kind of all at once or in any order, taking resources early is you're going to get those 2 anyway. I don't think anyone's really going to say anything or really even knows,
right.
to be honest.
Yeah.
So I would say that's less important.
Okay. All right. I like that. I'm just a little nervous. I want to follow the rules. I don't want somebody, I feel I'm going to be the guy who's going to get called on. It stipulates in page 4 of the rules that you're not to be taking your resource. It says prepare the tokens on step 5. So I'm going to call a judge.
I honestly don't think anyone's going to rules lawyer you that hard. And even if they do, I think a TO would just ignore that.
Excellent.
Any good TO anyway.
Yeah.
And then once players complete setup, they must wait for a leader to announce the start of the round before the beginning of their game. If the round's already begun,
that is an important part. Yeah.
Players may begin playing immediately upon completing these steps. Here's a piece of feedback. When I'm doing draft, I have never yet started on time because you're drafting your cards and you're putting the deck together. We had a minute and a half to put your deck together. That's not even fair.
Yeah, that's not ideal. Usually, I guess the 3 drafts that I've been in, we've had at least half an hour to build decks.
Oh my God! See, that's the problem right there.
Yeah, that's what you need.
I'm going to tell you real quick aside on the draft. So I went 2-1, but Aaron, and he knows who he is because I said his name. Aaron lives in Brighton. If you want to mail him, this is no lie. These are the cards he had in front of him. Here's his characters. It was Yoda, it was Hondo, and it was Newt. That was what
gross.
He played. Yeah, it was gross. That's a good way to put it. You're gross, Aaron. That was gross. It was gross, and it went to time. And by the way,
well, yeah.
If it goes to time, it says in here that time, which I learned, is about points of damage, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's the first tiebreaker.
So it says here, if neither player or neither has achieved victory at the end of the tournament round, they must follow the steps below in order to determine who receives a win. The player who has less damage on their characters receive a win. To determine this, players count the total amount of damage on any characters in play and add the total health value of all their defeated characters to achieve a final number. If both players have the same total, proceed to step 2. Have you ever gone to step 2, Mike?
Once.
You've gone to step 2.
Yeah.
Step 2, the player with the most cards remaining in his or her deck and hand receives a win. If both players have the same number of cards remaining, proceed to step 3. Mike, have you gone to step 3?
Yeah, in that game.
You have proceeded to step 3. Jay, have you ever gone to step 3?
No.
Step 3 is the player with the largest shoe size. And if they have to be tied, is it no? The player who controls the battlefield at the end of the game receives a win. I remember you telling a story about that. Was that the one where you won but you didn't win?
Yeah. Well, that was sort of me misunderstanding like the win condition, I guess. Like I had milled him out first, and I could have just claimed and then won because like I would have won by removing all the cards from his hand and deck. But in this situation, it was back in Awakenings, and I don't remember the exact decks that we were playing, but it just so happened that the game went to time, and we had dealt exactly the same number of damage to each other and had exactly the same number of cards in our decks and hands. So yeah, it was just like one of those weird things.
See, I feel like that's going to happen to me. One of those types of things. And somebody's going to
make sure you claim the battlefield.
Claim the battlefield seems to be the key. Jay, have you had a crazy? You told a story about it was like the rules issue that was with your first tournament ever, wasn't that with like Hyperspace Jump? I don't know. I thought you wrote about it. I don't remember.
That was I was fine because I was playing Vader Raider and I just completely obliterated the guy.
Yeah.
Chris wasn't so lucky, and Hyperspace Jump was a thing, and it was a horrible experience for him because that was his first tournament.
Oh,
Not only was it his first tournament, but it was his first like real CCG tournament outside of Yu-Gi-Oh. So it just kind of put a bad taste in his mouth,
Gotcha.
But he got past it.
And that was the Hyperloop.
Yeah, the Hyperspace Jump, or Hyperloop, Poe, Hired Guns, trash.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
See, I don't think you were playing the game yet, Mr. Chip, by then.
No,
that was a time.
Well, it's funny.
That was interesting.
The card is back, right? Hyperspace Jump seems to be very popular again.
But
yeah,
it's
it's popular, but like what it could do before basically was just lock your opponent out of the game.
So explain. So what was that? So it was the Hyperspace Loop? Is that what it was?
Yeah, so people called it the Hyperloop.
Well, there you go.
Which is where the Hyperloops got their name.
Nice.
But so basically, like how it works is Millennium Falcon can play a event from your discard pile with its special, and Hyperspace Jump would just end the round. So they would roll in, with the characters, do a bunch of damage, roll in the Falcon, and then I'm probably missing steps in here, and then claim the battlefield, which was the Emperor's Throne Room, turn Falcon to special, and then Hyperspace Jump out of the turn and go to the next one. But they errated Hyperspace Jump so that when you play it, it gets set aside. It doesn't actually go to your discard pile.
Gotcha. So it's basically done. It's one and done.
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh. It's still a pretty nasty card. But
yeah,
not,
and
but not that nasty.
I don't ever see anyone actually set it aside anymore, which is interesting.
So they're actually discarding it.
Yeah. They still discard it, but like the only thing that really interacts with it is Millennium Falcon. So
that's one of my other questions. So one of the things I'm trying to do, and I feel like I'm jamming it all in too much, but I try to take a look at cards that require conditions to play. So for instance, spotting cards. So I think about like Easy Pickings, right? Everybody loves that card, but Easy Pickings is a yellow character. And if they don't have a yellow character, they can't play it. But people are moving so fast. That's what I'm worried about. Like I'm going to miss that. Have you had that happen? Like what can I do to help that? Pay attention.
The biggest thing is like, you really just have to, you have to play a lot and know all of the cards. Like that's what's going to really keep that issue from becoming an issue for you. But even I play all the time, and I still miss spot character cards. I do think when you're in a tournament, it's a little different because you're more on edge, so you're definitely analyzing everything that happens. But it's tough. Sometimes it slips past you, and you just don't think about it.
Yeah, to me, it's like being in a tournament setting is kind of double edged, like where you are kind of paying more attention to things, but at the same time, you can like tunnel vision and then miss other things. I think like the best way to try and not let this kind of stuff slip by is just to like be super deliberate in everything that you're doing and that your opponent's doing, and just like really like take a second to just like read the card. You know what I mean? And then that'll be it'll make it easier for you, even though that is kind of hard to do, especially in a tournament when you're already like kind of nerve wracked and whatever.
Right. And I think people don't want to be embarrassed. Like if I have to read friends in low places, like you hear the card, everybody should know the card, but I mean, it's okay to grab the card and read the card.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that is well within your rights as a player.
But so looking at this list, cards you're going to see for sure, like on this Electroshock, 100%. You're going to see Friends in Low Places, 100%. Easy Pickings, you're definitely going to see it. Entangle, everybody's talking about that card now. It's a great card. You're going to see that card. So all of those spot a yellow character, meaning no yellow characters. Like Bala is dead. They only have their blue and red character left. They can't play it. It's a dead card.
Yep.
Blue character. Let's see, spot a blue character. Overconfidence. You're going to see that. Trust Your Instincts. A great card. I love that card. Lightsaber Pole is the big one. Man, that list is big. What else is there? Deflect. You're going to see that. That's spot blue. I didn't know that. See. What else would they see there? That's pretty much it, right? The Price of Failure. You talked in your Newt deck.
Yeah,
that would work. I would assume you'd have blue left, or else you're not playing that card, and the game's over. And then spot a red character. What are you going to see there? What, tactical mastery? Is that logistics?
Logistics.
Yeah, logistics.
It's in there twice. It's
yeah, those are definitely the big ones on the red side.
And then spot two characters with the same title. I don't think you're seeing Twin Shadows, are you?
Probably not.
Probably not.
If you're playing against somebody who's playing Twin
Shadows,
unless
you're not at the top tables.
Yeah, that's it. Excellent. Any other advice for surviving this next week?
Have fun.
Yeah, that's
otherwise there's no point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to try as best as we can. There's a group of people right now. I told them I would say hello at Millennium Games right now. They're actually they're testing and they're running the gauntlet. I would love to be there right now. But you know what? We have a commitment to our listeners and to each other. And,
yes, we do.
So they're going to wreck me next week with their bro TK. What do you think's what's the most dangerous deck in the meta right now, Jay? What do you think?
Well, that's the thing, right? There's so many good decks right now. Like, I can legitimately lose to any of the top tier decks, and top tier decks are like 10 different decks.
Yeah,
at least. So I think it depends on what you're playing. One, because it's really rock paper scissory. But obviously, when the Seventh Sister resetting shenanigans is extremely strong if they get their combo pieces, which seems to be consistent from what I've seen. Any kind of Kylo and Sabine deck, both of those are solid. Hondo is a what is it? They call it a Swiss killer, I guess, because it's difficult to play against if you haven't played against it enough. But once you've played against it enough, I think you can find your way around beating it the majority of the time, unless they get just really lucky. I don't know. There's a lot of good decks, man.
What do you think about that, Mike?
Yeah, I think Jay's spot on, actually. I just agree with everything he said. I like my advice in the case of this, where there are so many good decks, is just to play against the decks that you hate and that you really hate playing against, just so that you kind of can grow a bit more comfortable against them. So like if I was going to a regional, I would play like a bunch of games against Sabine, because I hate playing against that deck so much. And it's just a deck that I know that I like will mentally struggle against, just because I think it's dumb. So like that's probably the advice that I would give.
And what do you think about, so Sabine's all over the place again. So what do you think it was that brought that back? Was it because yellow's so strong in Legacies?
I mean, I think it's just good. Like there's better yellow removal. There's more ambush weapons. Maz's
it just got more stuff. That's great.
Yeah. Like it just got better, like a lot of the other decks out there. Like there's just better cards for it. And yeah.
Now I don't want to, we're kind of in the middle between new player competitive, but I will say this on this program, Mike, you talked about yellow, and you talked about a card called Easy Pickings. Remember that day you talked about that card?
I do remember that.
That card has, honestly, it's like the Beatles. It's swept the nation.
It's insane.
A guy by the name of Mr. Chip, Jay, on the episode you were on, we talked about a card named Maz's Vault. Remember that episode?
Oh, I remember.
Oh, you should. And a guy by the name of Sir Christopher, that trash who's not here right now, who eats hot wings and plays Cuphead, he said the best card in the game, not just in the new set, in the game, was Maul's lightsaber. And I said, well, what does it do? He said, you play the card and you win the game.
Yeah,
and that card is nasty. From what I've seen.
That card is insane. That makes blue villain decks that much better. Like, if you drop that against a deck that isn't running a ton of shields, and you get to roll it out twice every turn, drop it turn 1. Yeah. It's like
so
a GG.
Unreal. I also noticed that Obi Maz won a tournament recently.
Yeah, I'm happy about that, honestly, because a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's a trash deck. There's gonna be a lot of it, but it's really not that good." I'm glad it finally won a regional.
Do you think that it could? And by the way, I'm probing because I'm trying to figure out what deck I'm going to play. Bro TK looks nasty. It just looks nasty, and part of it is because the Hyperloop's supposed to have a lot of great content and a lot of great videos of them playing it, and I love how they share that stuff, which is awesome. Joe, who's he won nationals last year, right? Or worlds or whatever. He won one of them.
Yeah.
Nationals. Gen Con.
Gen Con.
So they had their regional in New Jersey, and it was between him and Mike Gem, Bobby Sapphire. So he was playing Sabine and Ezra. They didn't get a chance to play because they were, had to take the train 17 hours home, whatever it was. But they ended up playing on tabletop. It wrecked him. Bro TK just destroyed Sabine Ezra. Destroyed it. So what, I mean, if those two are the top, like, A, how would you attack Bro TK? And B, how would you attack Sabine Ezra? Start with Bro TK. It seemed like discarding cards from the hand was really sent him for a little bit of a loop.
So I'm gonna tell you right now how you do this.
Hold on, let me get my pen.
If you're playing Sabine Ezra against Bro TK, this is what you do. Okay, turn 1, you roll out Ezra, hit the 2+2s. Okay, that's the start. That's how you start the game. That's the first action.
2+2s. Okay, got it.
Your opponent's like, that's nothing. They don't mitigate your damage. Okay. Next action, you somehow get an ambush weapon in your discard pile.
Wait a minute. Wait. They played in Rage, and then they played a Maul Saber on.
So during that, you've gotten an ambush weapon.
Counterspell. Do you counter? Okay.
You still got those 2+2s out there. Then you play the Hidden Blaster from the discard pile while activating Sabine. You ping 1 shield. You roll out. You hit the 3/3+2, and you do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 damage and kill 7th Sister.
So that's how, and then kill.
That's how you do it.
Kill 7th
That's exactly how you do that
on your second turn
game.
So it's your second turn.
Third action.
Third action.
Yeah.
Third action. Kill 7th Sister. Got it. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Mike, now how do I really do it?
That seems like the best way to me.
Roll them up. So I'm going to start salting my dice.
I don't think I can really add to that strategy.
Oh my god! So it's obviously it's kill her first, but it's just you got to do it quick, right?
Yeah, most definitely.
So I actually think that if you can't kill her within like the first round or like the second or third action of the second round, I think that you kill Sienna first. Because then, like, they can't leadership, and if they want to press a failure, they have to kill their Night Sister.
Right.
So I think that's probably what I would try to do. Caveat: I have not played against this deck, so I'm not the best person to be asking about this. But that's just like the way that I would approach it.
Interesting. Night Sister just seems, she's good. She's good. Like if people aren't afraid to put damage on her, and I think that's what happens. Like use it. You got to use it for what it is. Like the rerolls are killer.
So
man.
Do you play coercion now?
Who, me?
Could we put coercion?
Just like in general? I've been thinking about that actually.
We could just throw coercion in there,
but like
price of failure.
What like in what deck though? Like what yellow villain deck is good? Maybe like
Well, I mean, 5-die villain. Yeah.
I guess 5-die villain. Maybe
Like some Cad Bane deck.
like,
Cad Bane is good. No one's playing him.
Cad Bane or Boba Phasma, maybe.
Yeah, Boba Fett. I think coercion could be really good against that. So they either have to pass.
They either pass their entire round or they, kill the character.
That would be awesome.
Spot a yellow character.
Yeah.
So here's a spot a yellow character, by the way. Spot a yellow character to reveal an opponent's hand and choose an event in it. They must play it as their next action if able. So you're saying if they have, so price of failure is an event and leadership, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So is that what is you'd play that and have them kill Night Sister?
Well, you force them to either leadership or price of failure when they haven't activated Summit Sister yet.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty nasty.
So now they have to either kill a character or play leadership to no effect or pass their whole turn.
So didn't they errata the card?
It's not errata, they just clarified it.
So what's the clarification that you can pass?
Yeah, because it says as their next action, and passing is not considered an action, so you can just pass.
Interesting.
And I'm assuming it doesn't go into the next round, but does it?
No, if it goes to the next round, then it basically just like erases this effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it still could give you potentially like one free round of doing stuff,
which is sick.
Which is awesome. And yeah, the other cards that could help you if you're trying to build your deck, towards beating, like a strategy like this is Chip has up Scruffy looking Nerf Herder or like Friends in Low Places to remove those key event cards.
Yeah, so I forgot which deck. He might have been playing Mill. No, it wasn't. But it just they were really messing with his hand, and that was really causing problems. And I think if you can get those cards out, you've got a shot. And I've happened to play this deck a little bit, and so bursty decks really hurt. My friend was playing. It was a crazy combo. It was Bala, Greedo, and Guavian. It was pretty nasty.
Oh, nice. That sounds cool.
It was really nasty. And he did a lot of damage quick. And Seven Sister was done almost immediately. But what's funny is this card right here. And pro tip is draft yellow when you're going to draft, because yellow stuff is awesome. And this card in draft was amazing.
Yeah.
Because, you're going for the upgrade. They've got their Vibro, what is it? Vibro Cutlass? I forgot. What is it in Rivals?
Vibro Sword, I think.
Vibro Sword.
Rivals.
Yep.
Back.
And, but you can, man, this was a pretty good card for one. Interesting. All right. So what about then Sabine? Talk to me through that. What am I, let's say I'm playing Kylo, Anakin. Do I have a good matchup against Sabine?
Kylo, Anakin?
Yeah, against Sabine.
I think
Decent.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's no reason not to hit.
You just call yellows.
Yeah.
And then you roll in Kylo, hit 2 2s, and then you roll in Vader. I don't remember who's Anakin. Yeah. And you hit 2 2s. And then you just deal 10 damage to Sabine and you kill her.
Perfect. Yeah. That sounds great.
Oh, wait, she has 11 health. That doesn't work.
Yeah, no.
And then she puts second chance on you.
You lightsaber throw.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Excellent.
My bad.
Well, I'm all set.
Or you at least play an upgrade and then roll that out. Get the +3.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just write that down right. Okay, good. Where do you want?
That's a good strategy.
You guys want to sit together at Worlds? Because I think we're all set. I'm just going to get out of my way. All right. Well, I'm going to go 0-8. Thank you. This is going to be fun.
Seriously though, like Kylo has 12 health. That's not something Sabine can do turn 1. Or if you can mitigate, if they're not like not rolling and you get a chance to at least mitigate a little bit, they probably can't even kill Kylo turn 2. So you're getting 4, possibly 6 damage out of his ability, and rolling in pretty solid dice with both Anakin and Kylo. So you have a solid chance.
Yeah, I have a feeling based on that. So Millennium, they had, I think 3 weeks ago, they had about 20, 25 ID9 Seeker droids available. And then I went and a couple days ago, just checked, and they had 0. I'm just saying.
Sounds about right.
There's a chance. There's a chance we might be seeing that deck, and their Ezras were gone
Sabine
too.
Ezra.
So just saying that might
Yeah.
be a meta call. I'm just trying to think what the right meta call is for that. So
So now we have to decide what counters both of those decks.
right. I don't know how Kylo Anakin does, and see everybody says it's not Kylo Anakin. You play Kylo Talzin, but I don't want to do math and have my deck be odd and all kinds of. I just don't, that's too much. I don't want to think
I don't think there's any math other than just
numbers.
that, like the only thing that you really have to think about is deck building and not putting any odd art. Like you just put 1s and 3s in your deck and then that's it. But like in the game itself, like you don't really have to do anything different.
Yeah, is that a better build than Kylo Anakin?
I don't know. I haven't actually played against Kylo Anakin yet, but I can see them both having, their strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, for sure.
Perfect.
I mean, both of them have the same plays, so it's basically what would you rather build? A deck with 1s and 3s or a deck that you don't have to worry about that? But Talzin's ability. So
I got it. I think you've made it clear for me. You want to know what it is?
I think they're both good. I think Chris has played both a lot, and I think he decided Talzin was better, even though I'm pretty sure on either one of this discard reroll or double blanks, he was like, as soon as Anakin drops, Kylo Anakin's going to be the best deck in the world.
He said that and the Wookiee Yoda or something. I forgot what he said. Wookiee said.
I don't know.
I think I'm going to play K2SO Ray.
There you go.
Hey, there it is.
He has equip. He has that new card equip.
I'm going to Shrek
Commando Raid.
Yep. This is it. So your co-host of your regular podcast, Mike D House, props to him. Has he had his baby yet? When's baby coming?
No, not yet.
All right.
Any day now, I would imagine.
I think there might be a takeover of the Jedi Trials for a couple months while he's burping a baby and not sleeping. But he predicted on Twitter, and I'm hoping that it's wishful thinking that actually happens, that tomorrow is the day the new set announcement drops. I'm not sure that's going to happen, but if it does, you heard it here second because he said it first. So just quick predictions just for fun. What do you think is going to be called? Are there going to be any new mechanics? And are there any characters you think guaranteed lead pipe lock, take it to Vegas, bet it, these 3 guys or girls from Destiny or whatever it is from Rebels or whatever comic that I don't read are going to be in the set? What do you think? What are your predictions?
You want to start it off, Jay?
Jay, what do you got?
Well, one, I would think it would be amazing if they finally announced the next set. I think it's about time, really. Like, it feels like we've played Legacies a lot now, and I think it's time for them to let us know what's happening next for Star Wars Destiny.
Okay,
but
what do you think it's going to be?
Characters do I think will be in the next set?
Well, give me the theme. What's going to be called? So it's Legacies is the first one, right?
That was the first one.
So you got all your like the legacy characters, maybe the legacy of Star Wars. What would be what follows that? I'm trying to think what
what is the word that is the opposite of legacies? And that's what it's called.
That's what you think it's going to be?
Let me see. Let me look.
Opposite.
The what?
Of legacies. Like how about
pulling
opposite?
Up with the source.
Opposite. I can spell that right. An antonym would be. Yeah, no, that's not it. Antonyms.
I got one up.
Do it. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to hear it here first.
I don't know how to find the antonym because it's showing me synonyms. Oh wait. Yeah, no, it's only showing
dispossession, disclamation, and what is it? Divestiture.
Yes, divest. I'm pretty sure that the set's going to be called divestiture.
Yes.
There we go.
There it is. There they all are.
It's interesting because legacy, a synonym is heirloom. And then we got the heirloom lightsaber.
Wait a minute. You found the site. You found that. This is what their marketing. The marketing conversation probably is about like this. What are we gonna call this set? What's the opposite of legacies? Abnegation. Yep, that's it. Abnation. All right, so now we know what it's going to be called. It's divestiture. All right, I'll give you an easier one then. What do you think? Any new mechanics? See, Magic, again, back to the Magic, but they usually put a little, like one twist in each of the releases, just to keep it like some new mechanic. It was all about indirect, right? So do you think there's anything, or are they just going to let it lie?
Well, so in Legacies, there was they introduced indirect damage, and then they also introduced plots, and they also introduced like like traits on characters, like something dash droid or dash Jedi or whatever.
Yes, you were genius. Traits.
So I would hope that they kind of like flesh that out a little bit more.
I'm writing that one down. Something with traits.
Yeah, because I mean, like they put that there for a reason. So there's got to be, some way that they sort of bring that out. Although I could see it happening that they don't do it until the first cycle rotates out, so they don't have to go back and errata those cards also have traits. So
they mentioned droids, right? Like I think about Afra, and there's like if you play droid,
But that's like a subtitle. No, I don't even know what it's actually called, but
it's called a title.
Oh, is it? Well, okay. So there's like a support vehicle, support droid, etc. So maybe it is a trait. But yeah, so they've done it for upgrades, like weapons and whatever. Yeah. But they haven't done it for characters. So
okay,
it'll be interesting to see if they do anything for characters.
What were you going to say? I cut you off, Jay. What were you going to say?
Dang it! Oh, I think they're going to do the Last Jedi stuff.
That's a good bet.
Yeah, good bet.
I think that's what it's going to be. It's like old Luke. And he's going to have some superpower that's Force Illusion, and I'm going to blow my brains out.
Yeah, it could be. It could be something like that. How about something with I really
they're going to have a new Luke. They're going to have a new General Hux, hopefully, because he's trash.
What's the guy's name? The Benicio del Toro.
Maybe. That's Benicio del Toro. I don't. His name is DJ. Yeah.
What if it's a card that is cut in half and it's Snoke? Play it out for a minute. Play it out. Like you could flip the card over. It's like two sides of it or something.
Well, he's actually two cards, kind of like Exodia.
Yeah, and there's like Snoke's torso, and then like Snoke's legs.
Yes, you could. It's like
when you put them together, you win the game.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do something, not probably with Snoke since he was cut in half, or like Luke's hand that comes out, but something to do with that. Like you have to collect like another win condition. I don't think it'll be this set, but I bet another win condition of collecting something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they'll finally do a new do creatures.
Yeah, I would love it.
Like
dude, I would love that so much. I need a Rancor. I need. Like
you got Crystal Foxes, you got Porgs. What about Porgs?
When are we going to get a Porg card? Like,
right,
that's what I'm waiting for. Yeah, that's the most important question that people are not asking in Star Wars.
Yeah.
When are we going to see a Porg?
It could happen. That would be really cool if they did something with creatures.
Yeah,
I feel like
that would be fantastic.
I don't know if it's strong enough to be its own, like to kick off a set, right? Like Legacy.
Yeah.
So it could fit. It could really fit.
What, like a third faction? Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
Or I don't know, just like support dash creature or something like that. I don't know. I don't know how they would express it in the game.
See, so like support's like vehicles. Like there's never, when you play supports, your character's not really connected to the support. Like the weapons they are, but the vehicles or creatures they're not. And I feel like that is a mechanic they're going to definitely play out. Like Luke's Tauntaun. So you play that, and if the battlefield is Hoth, you can do an extra reroll for it because you've got the Tauntaun versus, I don't know, something like the Snow Speeder. If Han's on the whatever his vehicle, I don't know, whatever it is, but something like that.
Like if in Empire at War, like they have Darth Vader's TIE Advance, like if it was like had a special on it that said something like deal like 2 damage or 4 damage if you spot Darth Vader, like something like that would be really cool.
Yeah.
I feel like that would add a lot to the game too. And that guy, who's the code breaker? What's that guy's name?
DJ.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to be in there.
That character did nothing for me. No. And I love Benicio del Toro.
Yep.
Yeah, I do too, and I sort of agree. And I loved that movie, but I think he was one of the weaker parts of it.
Yeah, it's too bad.
But I came up with a cool idea a long time ago.
Here it is. This is the segment called Jay's Cool Ideas.
If they came out with cards that are upgrades for vehicles, so like one, they're going to be adding. They have to add X-wings next to that. Like they finally got to have X-wing as a vehicle, like just generic. But like you can put proton torpedo upgrade on your X-wing, so it now shoots proton torpedoes and stuff like that.
That would be sweet.
That would be cool.
That would be really cool. Yeah, that I feel like that could launch a set. Like the vehicles of Star Wars, like really doing that right. That'd be pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Interesting. And here's unfortunately, I'm going to say it, and I don't even really know what he's from. I think Rebels. Is Rex from something?
Yeah, Rex has got to be in the game soon. But yeah, he's from everything pretty much.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be there. And I think
he was in the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
No, he was.
Where?
He was
on the Battle
of the Jedi.
Yeah.
He what?
Endor.
He was?
Look it up right now.
You didn't see him?
No. Are you serious or kidding? Rex?
Yeah, look up Captain Rex and then Return of the Jedi.
Endor.
In Return of the Jedi?
Yes.
I don't believe it. Let's see here.
Look up the image.
Because I remember, I mean, it was a while back, but I certainly don't remember seeing like this style to Return of the Jedi. Like cartoon.
That guy is that guy right there.
Him?
You see him? Yep.
Yeah.
That's Rex.
That's Rex.
Yes.
That's my grandfather. What are you talking about? Who is this guy?
Yeah, scroll up. Yeah, there you go. No, there's like this whole conspiracy theory looking picture right down there that explains it.
But was he alive at that point? Like in the canon?
They're clones. They age differently.
They're clones. That's why they're clones. So it's the same guy, just another guy, but the same clone.
Boom.
Yeah.
No. Well, that is
Rex.
Wait a minute. So you're saying he's a clone, but he hasn't been cloned yet? He just lives a long time?
So
why is he a clone?
Clones, they expedite their aging process from like a child to an adult male, and then I guess something goes astray where they live for a long period of time.
It's like Benjamin Button, but reverse.
Forever. Yeah. I mean, I don't think he needs to have lived for, that long, right? Because like, okay, so Anakin at the end of Clone Wars is like 18, let's say.
Yeah, so he's right. So he's the right age.
It makes sense, right? Because like he still looks older than like old Anakin looks. So I think it makes sense.
Man, you just and
I mean it's confirmed.
You just
Dave Filoni said it.
Dave, who's Dave Filoni? He's the guy who made Rebels.
And Clone Wars. And one of my favorite shows ever, Avatar: Airbender.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. That I've heard of. Good. Yeah. That's the kid who bends that was a great movie, by the way. Did you see
the movie? Was the most disappointing 2 hours I've ever spent in my entire life.
Super cool character.
I can do an entire podcast about that.
Super cool character. Totally.
I've never been more angry in my entire life.
The poster looked cool. It's like a really cool poster. That was so bad.
They insisted on pronouncing his name Ong when in the TV show where the source material comes from, they call him Aang. And there's no interpretation there. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's M. Night Shyamalan, my dude.
Yeah.
That was not good.
Well, I guess Lando does call Han Han, so.
Yeah, but maybe in this universe, it's at least within the same universe. Potato. It's not nobody in the TV show calls him Ong. And then everybody in the movie calls him Ong for no reason. I'll stop.
I feel like I've touched a nerve. I apologize for that.
Yeah.
And but maybe we should just go back and watch it one more time. It might not be as bad as you think.
There's a reason they didn't do the second.
That's probably right.
Yeah.
Oh my God. All right. So for sake of time, one of the things I did want to talk about, and we're running long, but is before the new set actually does drop, we've got a lot of new players who've played for a little bit of time, even experienced players have to make an evaluation about how cards are. Now we're going to be seeing spoilers and everybody, you're going to see all the YouTubes. They're going to come out and Jay's going to be talking about, this card is super good.
The new,
super good.
Amazing. This card is
the
awesome.
new K2SO.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
He's such a cool character.
Mike, what did you guys drop? You did Talzin, didn't you? On Jedi Trials?
Jedi Trials.
You had good ones. Which Magic?
Talzin is good.
Was it Which Magic you or Crystal Ball or?
It's Talzin and Crystal Ball and the Coven, the Night Sister Coven.
Okay. And Jay, I think, what did you get?
We had Kylo Ren's Starfighter, which is an amazing card, but no one plays it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Is that a surprise? Are we surprised at that?
Slightly, I think. I think a lot of people didn't realize that it was indirect, that his special deals indirect damage. And actually, almost every single time that I've played against it, my opponent doesn't think that it's indirect damage until I point it out. So I think that's part of it.
Yeah.
So when these new cards drop, looking at tools that people use to evaluate other collectible card games. So one of the things in Magic, they call it the vanilla test, right? You basically take the card, you strip all the abilities from the card, which is just like in Destiny. Each card has like power actions or actions. They have abilities and things like that. You strip it out. You look at how much it costs to play it, with mana or resources. You look at the health and you make a judgment, whether it's good or it's bad. And one of the questions I ask is there something like that whether it's with a character or whether it's with, looking at an event, like would that actually work, Mike, to do something like that for Destiny? Or could we even make something that would at least be arbitrary to say, just with a broad brush, ask these questions about the card and you get a value on whether it's either positive or negative on the card?
Probably. But I don't know how viable that kind of strategy would be for like cards with dice, because, there are 6 sides on that die and, like combining health and point cost and, the die sides and the ability like starts to get just like insanely complicated. There's so many more variables than there are in a Magic card, which is just like a cost, a power, and a toughness. So with Destiny, I think that you really could do that with like an event. So for example, like removal, how many dice are you removing for the resource cost that you're paying? Like 0 resources for 1, die removed is pretty good. 1 die for 1 cost is like getting less good, although it used to be quite good. Now kind of the standard is like, with easy pickings into the garbage chute, etc., is like 1 for 2 is really good. And then sometimes 2 for 2, like Entangle. So like resources as well, I think could work. So like if a card generates you 1 resource, and you have to put in 3, like Mobilize, not a ton of people play a card like that unless you can reliably get to that point anyway. But a card like, let's say even like Truce or Maz's Vault or something like that costs 0, but nets you 1. And Maz's Vault will net you more over time is definitely like a good card. So I think it's a lot easier with events than characters or upgrades. But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Jay, what about you? So that the idea that, and the balance of the force is all based on that you adjust those points, right? Plus or minus. And there was that sweet spot that what was FN before he was new?
He was 10-13.
10-13, right? It's 13. That one, there was that 1 point cost that was it was too good that the pairings were too crazy. Phasma was the other one, right? What was Phasma? 12?
Yeah, so Phasma was also 9-13. Now 9-13. She's 10-14.
10-14. That 1 point made the difference, right?
A huge difference.
Oh, yeah, massive.
And I don't think it was. I don't think she was as undercosted as it seems. I think it was just her pairings that made her too strong.
Yeah,
right. So the 1 point, and then she's done. Nobody uses her.
Boba Phasma.
Yeah, Boba Phasma, and then there's like a Phasma Talzin Greedo deck that's pretty good.
Right. Jay,
I wish they would have only done her elite cost by 1.
Yeah, so you could still pair with Vader.
Yeah, Big Vader would have a decent pairing at that point. You know what I mean?
I actually agree with that because, I mean, like her die then costs like 5 points, but it is a really good die. So
yeah, I mean a 1, 2, and a 3 is not a bad die.
It's pretty dang good.
And it's got a focus and a resource. There's nothing on there you don't want to see.
Yeah, except the blank.
Yeah,
Of
which
course.
I roll every single time. So.
Jay, you play a ton of Destiny. Do you think when you see when a character is spoiled, what are you looking at first? Like, what's your first thing you try to judge whether it's good, other than if it's a cool character?
Well, it's such a cool. So basically, I look at the cost of the character. Then I look at actually, I think I might look at the health of a character first. Mm-hmm. It's got less than 10. It's yep, never be playing it. At least for me.
Better cost 8 or 9 points.
Yeah, unless it's a non-generic or a really cheap character. But or if it is a generic character, is what I'm gonna say, non-unique. But I look at the point cost, and I look at the die, and I look at the ability, and I kind of just decide there. I don't know. You just kind of do it in your head. You do the math in your head. I don't know the exact process. I don't know what to write down to do it for every card. But I think once you've played enough, you kind of have an idea of what is good and what is not great. But even then, when I see characters, I'm like, this seems really good, but I have no idea until I test it enough.
So here's one.
Palpatine.
Right here. Example. Palpatine's 12. So 12 health. It passes your squishy test. Everybody calls it squishy. 8's too, 9's too squishy. All right. So here's 12. It's got a 2 range, 2 melee, 2 indirect, 2 resources. Right. It's got a power action. Yeah. Play an event from your hand, decreasing the cost by the number of different damage symbols showing on your dice. 1620. Have you seen this other than have you even ever seen it? You ever played against it?
Oh, I've definitely played against it, and I've played with it, but I haven't been to any tournaments, but I haven't seen them played in any tournaments.
Yeah, same.
And so what is it about? Why people actually are pretty excited about this card? The other one they were really excited about that you're starting to see a little bit was, what's his name? Saw.
Maul.
Maul too, but Saw.
Saw, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was one of those people who was pretty excited about Palpatine. I think that it's
he's a more difficult character to play. Yes,
yeah, and Saw is as well. But I think part of the calculus is it's not just about the character itself; it's about what you compare them with, and sort of the entire team, which makes it very difficult. So you see Palpatine and it's okay, he's got 3 damage sides. Awesome. They're all a value of 2. None of them cost money. He helps you play the cards in your hand for free or for cheap. And he's got, 2 resource sides. So he's pretty good. The problem is that on a 20-point character, you don't really want to be resolving those resource sides, right? Rose, who costs 811, has 2 resource sides. So it's right. With your big hitters, you just want to deal big damage, if that's your strategy. And so spending 20 points on a character that can do max 4 damage per round on his character dice is has turned out not to be worth it. But that's not to say that maybe there's a really cool 810 or 710 character that's not Bazine, that works really well with him. Maybe that boosts him up a little bit. And
all it takes is one card, right? I mean, so you think about the next set, and I would hope that they know the entire block, right? All of the Legacies block. I mean, there could be the card comes out. It's a character that fits, like you said, it's in that 8-10 range, and this card becomes amazing.
Yeah, for sure. I don't think enough people have tested him either. So there might be a great deck that has him in it, but if you look at his trash dice, has anyone considered playing him 1 die just because his power action's so good?
Right. Yeah.
So there's still room to test him out, but I always say this whenever I see a difficult character to play. He's the equivalent of playing Lee Sin on League of Legends, which is a super difficult character to play, but he's really strong if you're good with him. Mm-hmm. Or I don't know what other game to compare him to, but it's that character that is strong, but you have to really practice with that character and know what you're doing and know the game really well to play well with that character.
Right. Yeah.
I think there's something to that it's not tested yet. I don't think there's enough players, truthfully, at that high level that can really think about this stuff and do it at the same time. Like it's still a young game, because I feel there's got to be something there that with a character like that or Saw. They're just, I don't know. It seems like there's a challenge there, and I bet you this card, something's going to come out. That's my prediction. The next set is going to help this card. That's mark it down.
No, I've not played Saw a lot, but the few times I've played him, I've done insane things with his special. I've not played him a lot, but when he works, and it's craziness.
Yeah, it just seems, I don't know, something's going to be good here, and that's going to be my prediction. So maybe we think about over the next couple of weeks if there's a way. I don't know what that tool would be, but you might be able to do it with events in some way, right? Just like an arbitrary scale on, like, what do you? I guess it would be different for everybody, but what do you value more? Is it removal? Is it, what's the what takes a card to the top in terms of its playability and that type of stuff?
Yeah, I think like you can like create different categories of cards, maybe like cards that deal damage, cards that remove dice, and then within those categories create some kind of like spreadsheet basically.
Well, you know what, Jay? You're studying for a math test, so you could help us with spreadsheets. Be perfect.
Right.
And then then you can play
some more homework for you.
Yeah. Play Talzin. That'd be perfect for you because that's all math. Blue algebra, remember? That card?
Blue algebra.
That's a good card. Spoiled by the Jedi Trials. They're amazing. Well, guys, thank you for your contributions tonight. I feel completely clear as to what deck I'm going to play, and I think it's going to be I'm going to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I have no idea what
Yes.
I have no clue. But we'll see.
Just get an Elgato and start doing Fortnite and shit.
I think I'm going to do perfect. I think I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
That's good. Mike, so you're on the Jedi Trials. You were just on recently. It was a great episode, by the way, one of your best ones. And you're going to be doing some TTS stuff possibly soon. Is it coming?
Possibly. The last time I tried to stream, my computer crashed halfway through, so just got to figure out how to make that not happen, and then I might try it out again.
Well, D House said it's $100 I have to mail him so he can buy diapers every time you're on the show. So we're just going to build up an account and start to send it over his way. But thanks, Mike, for taking time tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much for having me back.
Jay, as always.
Yeah.
How can people find you other than?
Jesus, this again.
Yeah. People want to see your stuff.
First, you didn't do a countdown. You just started talking, doing your Mr. Chip voice. Welcome back to Tiny Grimes Game. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, nice. It's a little different. Wait, you know what? I don't care where they can find you.
A card game we like to call Star Wars.
Destiny.
I'm Mr. Chip.
Here's what I want to ship. That's called it's Pregnant Pause.
Well, guess what? You're not getting it.
Yeah, I had something all ready for you guys for Valentine's Day, and you know what? You didn't come on, so you're getting nothing. It was Cupid Destiny.
Oh, that was a horrible week for me.
It was bad. But we have Cupid Destiny was going to come and shoot the Destiny dice of love at you guys, but you missed it, so you lose out. And I can't. I wish we have to. I got to be able to show you. I don't think my camera's hooked up, but I made you a Valentine's Day card for Destiny.
Yes,
oh my gosh,
I appreciate it.
Maybe I'll show it to you next time if you come on.
Okay.
So they can see you on YouTube?
Well, first, this is the pattern. This is the process of things that need to occur. First, you go to youtube.com/Sir Christopher. You make sure you're unsubscribed from him.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
You delete all of his stuff. Then you go over to youtube.com/DoubleBlanksGaming. And you click subscribe.
Right.
And then you start winning tournaments.
Right.
That's how it goes.
In Cuphead.
Fortnite, Cuphead, Resident Evil 7, but more specifically, Star Wars Destiny.
If I know it's not Destiny, and I get picked on, Jay tells me I don't like him anything other than Destiny. He's just my Destiny friend, but he is not. It was a funny video when you guys were playing Resident Evil. You did a nice job.
Thank you.
Came out really good. But Jay, thanks. We appreciate it. Thanks for being on. And as always, have fun playing Destinies. Come out and see me in Rochester and laugh when I bring my seat cozy and my fanny pack and all the water I can drink in a Kind bar. I'll be passed out in the corner. But I hope at that tournament, and as always, may all your rerolls be special ones.
Wait.
But
Before next time me and Chris are on Discard to Reroll, this is going to be a little special bit for everybody.
Oh, here we go.
I get to tell you about when Chick Donovan rolled a 300 bowling. Tell you guys that story.
Tell me that did not happen.
It happened. Oh, it happened.
So Chick Donovan had a hole-in-one and rolled a 300.
And rolled a 300.
This
bowling.
guy.
Did you not hear this already?
No.
Unbelievable.
You don't keep up with the Discord, do you? Well, I posted pictures of him because I went bowling with my fiance and some friends a couple weeks ago.
No, this happened a couple weeks ago?
Or like a week ago.
What?
Only a week ago, I think. Yeah, it was last Friday Night Dice, so like 6 days ago.
Okay.
Yeah, we went out and Chick Donovan was there. And it's not even in the town we live in. We drove like an hour away.
Mike, do you know who Chick Donovan is?
I do, because I listened to the last episode of Discard to Reroll, or the episode before the last episode.
All right, I'm sorry. Please continue, Jay. Tell me about this.
Well, we get there, and guess who comes walking in the door? Chick Donovan. So I took some pictures, posted them on Discord, and he bowled a 300. But that's going to be a story for another day.
Bowled a 300.
Yep.
This guy
I usually bowl like a 40.
He's the American equivalent of the Dos Equis guy. Like, really, this guy's amazing. And he's like 90.
In his upper 70s.
Man,
he still wrestles.
I bet he does. He's going to choke slam you next time he sees you guys. That's going to be something.
He might.
But, all right, so there it is. I think we just increased our listenership.
Yeah.
By at least 4 people.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah. But, Jay, thank you. And remember, Jay, you know what? When you're rolling dice, I hope all your rerolls are
blanks.
No, special ones. So special ones. That's the thing. That's the tag. May all your rerolls be special ones.
I don't get it.
All right, we'll see you next week.